Hi, everybody, and welcome to week 2 topics. I'm going to just go through the week 2 review just because there's fewer questions and I could go through more examples. And we're going to start here with question number 1, which says, evaluate the expression when b equals 9 and z equals -8. All you need to do for this is rewrite it as 6 times, well, b is 9 minus z, which is -8. We always want to remember PEMDAS. This is the order of operations. So first we look at the parentheses. There's nothing to do inside the parentheses. Check. I have no exponents. Check. The next thing I want to talk about is multiplication and division. Well, I have multiplication. I'm going to do that first. 6 times 9 is 54. Now I have a negative or minus -8. And we learned in the previous video that it's the same as multiplying those two signs together because they're really next to each other. So we have negative becomes a positive 8. This becomes 62. So the correct answer here should be 62. Now we want to simplify 2x plus 4x. Whenever our variables, and when we talk about a variable, I'm talking about x. X is a variable because it can change. 2 and 4 are constants because they just always stay 2 and 4. When we add, imagine we have these x's. I have 2 x's, and I'm going to add 4 more x's. What do I have? I have 6 x's, which means that's the answer for this one. All I need to do is add the coefficients. Coefficients are 2 and 4. The other name for this is coefficients. It means the number in front of the variable. Again, same. -4 plus 11, 7w. Now we have multiplication. We have 8 times 6r. Again, we multiply 8 times 6 and get 48r. And that is going to be the final answer. Now we have the distributive property. And what we have is we have something in parentheses times a number outside. It doesn't even have to be a number. It could be a variable. Let's say you went to the store. It was you and 3 friends. If you all bought the same thing, let's say you bought 2 candy bars and 3 sodas each. And you say to your friends, don't worry, I got this. Everybody put their food up near the register. How many candy bars would you have? Well, if everybody got 2, you and 3 friends, you'd have 4 times 2 candy bars, which is 8. And you'd have 4 times 3 sodas, which is 12. That's basically what the distributive property says. Let me write this as an equation. If I have 4 people and everybody gets 2 candy bars and 3 sodas, it would look like that. I'm going to take each one of these values and multiply it by 4. The distributive property says I'm going to distribute that 4 to both of these terms. What would I get? 4 times 2 is 8 candy bars, plus 4 times 3 is 12 sodas. Now let's do this problem. We have 8 times r plus 7. The distributive property says multiply 8 times r and then multiply 8 times 7, which means I get 8r. I don't know what r is, so I just leave it as r, plus 8 times 7, which is 56. And that is our final answer. And this is again the same exact thing. I'm going to now multiply my 3 times 1 minus y minus 7x. I'm going to multiply by every term. Terms are anything separated by either a plus or minus, which means 3 goes to 1, 3 goes to y, and 3 goes to 7x. 3 times 1 is equal to 3. I have my minus. 3 times y is equal to 3y. I have my minus. 3 times 7 is 21 times x. And that's my final answer. This has got distributive property, PEMDAS. There's a lot happening here. So let's write down PEMDAS. And we're going to start with the P. P stands for parentheses. I have z plus 2 in parentheses. I can't do anything with that. Minus 3z minus 6. I can't do anything with that. So P's are done because I can't do anything inside the parentheses. I have no exponents. I am now here to multiplication and division. They are the same operation. We don't do one before the other. We go from left to right. I have no division, so I don't even have to worry about it for this problem. What am I going to do? First thing, I'm going to write, let me just write it out again, fresh. Well, I start with my first multiplication, which happens to be the distributive property right here. 4 times z is 4z, and 4 times 2 is 8, so I have plus 8. That part of the expression, it's not an equation, it doesn't equal anything, but that part of the expression is complete. Now, this is also the distributive property. I'm going to say negative 3 times negative 3z. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9z. And then I have negative 3 times negative 6, and I get positive 18. Now I've done all my multiplication and division. I just need to do addition and subtraction. I only have addition. I have to combine like terms. Each one of these is a term, as long as it's separated by a plus or a minus. And I can add z's to z's, and I can add numbers to numbers. And what I will get is 4z plus 9z is 13z. And then I have 8 plus 18 is plus 26. And that is my final answer. This is just combining like terms. Let's talk about just combining like terms. We have negative 2u squared minus 4 plus 5u minus 8 plus 9u squared. What are like terms? Like terms are anything where the variable matches. For example, minus 2u squared and 9u squared, notice they both have a u squared. I can just say negative 2 plus 9 is 7, and then I tag on the u squared. Next, I have 5u, and I have nothing else that has just a u. I'm going to just write it in here. And lastly, I have negative 4 minus 8, negative 12. And again, that's my final answer.